So, do you want to triple, double, triple, quadruple your earnings? Do you want to make a lot more money? Do you want to actually like ball out? Do you want to enjoy doing this driving thing? Well, so I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of people will tell you that the car doesn't matter, and in reality, it doesn't. Let's start there. The car doesn't matter in the sense of, as an Uber driver, you just need to pick people up and drop them off, and it doesn't matter what car you have because you're gonna be able to do that. And pretty much any car works. I mean, whether and the consensus is that, in terms of best financial decision, is that you want to get a car that's usually paid off. It would be impossible for me to call myself any kind of financial smart if I wasn't telling you, getting a car that's paid off, or getting a car that's, that you don't make any payments on, that you could pay straight cash for, that you could just walk onto the dealership and walk off the dealership with, would be crazy, right? Because at the end of the day, what's the two biggest payments that most people make? The two biggest payments that most people have to do is, first you have your car, and then second you have your house, your mortgage, your rent, your home payment. This is what most people kind of do. This is what most people kind of do in a sense of like, when they're kind of like trying to figure things out, because that rent payment is crazy, and the car payment is even crazier. I mean, obviously rent is going to be way more expensive, but some people have cars that's like a rent payment, because what's the two biggest, most important things? It's your car, what you drive in, because we all want to flex. We all want to be able to say that we got a good car, That's why if you look at people when they drive their cars, they'll get them washed, they'll get them clean, detailed, buff, like they'll wrap them, they'll put the rims on them. Like, you would think people live in their cars the way that some people do their cars. Of course, you got the tents. They put logos all over their car. It's just a lot. People go to great lengths to customize their car. And it's like, is it that serious? Like, it's just a car. Is it really that necessary? I mean, especially when it's just a car. But as a driver, your car is your vehicle. Your car is basically what you need in terms of to do what we do. It's a work vehicle. If you didn't have a car, you can't really do Uber. Well, when I say car, I mean like car, SUV, sedan. Hell, these days, I even see people getting out here in a truck. And I'm like, yo, that's tough. That's tough. Like, you talk about gas guzzler? At least so there are gas guzzlers in the sense of like a Jeep. I've seen people do it in a Jeep. It's like, yo, what? You gonna be drinking gas? Like, the only gas guzzler that kind of sort of makes sense is a Suburban. The Suburbans, the Escalades, because obviously you're at the top of the class. And they only make sense during a specific time. They don't make sense year round. They don't make sense, well, in our market. They don't make sense when the summer, when, when it's slow, and when you can't get premier SUV rides, when it's a grind. When you're doing Uber X all day, it's a grind. Because you maybe getting 20 miles to the gallon, 19 miles to the gallon, 17 miles to the gallon, depending on what SUV you got. And then when you're talking about these trucks, man, you don't get no real benefit to do it in your truck. I guess so obviously down here in South Florida, if you don't know, I am from South Florida, but most so Miami. I'm born and raised in Miami. And what happens with us is that we get floods a lot. It floods in certain areas. So Brickell always is going to flood. Certain places in like Miami Lakes is going to flood. You know, you got places in Kendall that flood. Doral floods. Like, you got certain places that just automatically flood. Now, in those situations when it's raining and it's crazy and all of that, okay, a truck makes sense. But those are very, very specific situations. Those are like highly specific situations in the sense of like, they don't happen. I mean, they happen during the summer, but it's not year round that we talking about a flood. It's not year round that we worried about a flood. Honestly, it's kind of like very specific situations. So yeah, in those types of times, it's like you can kind of ball out. In those types of times, that's when the truck makes the most sense, because it's like, oh yeah, you have a specialty vehicle, and that's the specialty. It's high up off the ground. You can go through the water, whatever. So yeah, in those moments, it makes all of the sense in the world, having a bigger vehicle, having an SUV, something like that. But just in the day-to-day grind of what we do, trucks don't make sense. And having a paid-off vehicle is even better because you don't have to worry about that payment. So, you know, the other thing to this is that when I go out, now I've gotten used to it. I've started, you know, I've kind of like prepared my mind to it. You know, I make a lot of money, so I kind of keep that in the back of my head. And this is the vehicle, this is the tool that helps me make that money. So it's a business expense for me, but you're starting off in the negative when you got a car payment. You're starting off in the negative when you have to think about that payment. So having any vehicle that's completely paid off is amazing. And then there's a simple fact of, if you get into an accident, which can happen, it can happen. I mean, you know, listen, I don't wish it on none of y'all. Y'all know my situation. It happened with me. But I hope it doesn't happen with you. But if you get into an accident, having a paid off car, you walk away, you move on, you think about what you want to do. Having a car that you still making payments on is different, because it's like, yo, I still owe the bank on this car. So now I got to figure out how I'm going to get the rest of this money to pay the bank. And hopefully you got gap coverage. Hopefully you got insurance and full coverage and all of that stuff. And hopefully everybody pays out the claim. Like I said, hopefully, because y'all know my situation. It didn't happen like that. But I am an anomaly. I'll say that. I am an anomaly. You know, I don't know. But, you know, that's the thing about when you have a vehicle that you're still making payments on, you have to understand that you're risking the fact that whatever you owe can be called upon immediately, especially if you don't make those payments. You don't make those payments, something catastrophic happens. So having a car that is completely paid off, I gotta be honest, is the best vehicle that you could do for rideshare. It would be crazy because you don't have to work every day for your vehicle, at least. I mean, obviously you got other bills, but you know, like maybe your house, your mortgage, whatever. But I'm just saying, in the sense of paying your car, you stop working for a week, a month, 2 months, you don't turn on the apps, they're not going to take away your car, is what I'm saying. So at least you have a car. At least you have, I guess, somewhere to stay. But, you know, on the flip side, you got to make payments for it. It is what it is. But now that I've kind of rambled and got that out, because I know somebody going to be like, well, but if you get a paid off car, you don't have to worry about it. The advice is that you should get a beater. That's what everybody says. Get a beater. You pay for cash for it. You drop the cash. And yeah, because you drop cash for it, you obviously don't have a payment. So you walk onto the lot without a car, you walk off the lot with the car. Now it's an older car, so the advice is get a beater. Something that you don't care about, that you can run into the ground. Because obviously miles doesn't matter, and yada, yada, yada. Like I said, financially, that makes the most sense. But the thing about an older car, the thing about a beater is that when you have a Tesla, this is a newer car. It's a newer car. It has access to all of the platforms, most of the platforms, all of the platforms for a car. So you get Premier. Well, again, this is the Model 3. So technically at this time, the Model 3 is no longer gets Premier. But if you've been grandfathered in, hopefully you have. So you get Premier, you get Comfort, Comfort Electric, you get Uber X, and you get Uber Green. Those are all of the platforms, and then obviously you get deliveries. So you have the highest opportunity to make the most money because you can get a request from all of those platforms. You're not just limited to Uber X and X Shared or Uber X and XL. You have all of the platforms when you have a newer car. But a beater, you don't have that. So, and then with a beater, you got maintenance. If nobody told you about maintenance, yeah, you got maintenance. As you can hear, so I am here at the airport. This is like a private airport, so you can kind of hear the noise going on. But yeah, man, you know, nobody likes to talk about maintenance. Now, trust me, when I had my car, I learned how to do maintenance, and I would recommend that. But if you don't do your maintenance yourself, or you don't know a good mechanic, you are going to pay an arm and a leg. Let me just tell you that. I'm going to be 100% honest, because you got to do the oil changes. Oil changes are going to be a little bit more expensive because most beaters have higher mileage. Higher mileage, I mean, you know, you don't have to get the higher mileage oil, but it's recommended that you get higher mileage oil. So you're paying a little bit more for your oil changes. Obviously, you got way more maintenance because it's an older car. Things are going to go bad. But with this Tesla, I don't have none of those problems because it's brand new. Well, fairly, you know, it's fairly brand new. Obviously, I rent, but this car, I haven't had any issues. This car has 144,000 miles on it. I got it when it had 80,000 miles. Still haven't had any issues. The only issues that I have been user imposed in the sense of, like, obviously the tires. Running over stuff, doing what we do, being in these parking lots like you see me now. I'm actually over here by the Chase Stadium or the Pink Panther Stadium. So, you know, listen, I'm out here. So, but I'm in these, you know, the ground has stuff on it, you know, and all of that. So it kind of comes with the territory. So running over stuff, been my only issue. And I mean, realistically, I've only had to change the tires like twice in 80,000 miles. But outside of that, I don't have any other maintenance. So because I don't have any maintenance and I put 80,000 miles on the car, because I get all of the platforms for a car, obviously, I keep saying a car, you know, the only platforms that I don't have is Premier SUV. That's for a SUV, obviously, and XL, which is obviously for an SUV. So I don't have those two platforms. And I mean, well, and obviously this is the Model 3 and not the Model Y. If you get the Model Y, then you still have all of your platforms. If you have the Model 3, you might be losing Premier. I mean, you will technically be losing Premier. So, but that's still, the Tesla is like the best car for rideshare because it's a workhorse. Like I said, I put 80,000 miles on this car since I've gotten it. No problems whatsoever. None. No maintenance whatsoever, no problems whatsoever. And that is the biggest thing. And it's a comfortable car. Obviously, I'm talking about the Model 3, but the Model Y is the same way. It's a comfortable vehicle. And, I mean, since I'm a guy, I'm just going to say it's the fastest thing on this planet. No, I'm just kidding. But no, the other last reason is because I don't pay for gas. Gas is expensive. Gas is expensive. No, I can be upfront and say eventually electricity is going to get expensive. But as of right now, it is still cheaper than gas. It is still cheaper than gas. So In my opinion, as a person that's done a lot of rides, I've done 10,000 rides on the Uber platform. I've done another 1,000 rides on the Lyft platform. I pick up premium clients. I pick up non-premium clients. I do a lot. I sit in the airports. I'm here at the stadiums. I do events. This car is the best car for rideshare. But, you know, what do I know, right? But yeah, with that being said, man, I am out of here. I done rambled. I kind of presented my argument. So if you don't have a Tesla, I feel sorry for you. Because it ain't nothing like driving a Tesla, you know? Now, this may be strange coming from a black guy, but like, once you go Tesla, you don't go back. But yeah, with that being said, man, all right. So this was kind of like a little fun video. But yeah, man, I appreciate you guys for watching. I love you guys. I super appreciate you guys. I hope all is good. If you're not in the Telegram group, if you haven't joined the free community, you should join it now. And be a verb in the community. Don't just join it to sit on the sidelines. We need you. We need you to partake. Hit the link in the description for the free community. But yeah, with that being said, man, I'm out of here. Deuces.